talking about this at night, between each other. But what about with people we know? We have this fear of it, and even I know this person in Japan was threatened by the Magicians Union, and they made him call it magic because they said it was not legal to do it without saying it was really magic.
They made him call it magic?
In fact, he calls his place the Magic Parlor because the local Magicians Union was going to take him to court.
What?
And yes, this is the...
Wait, and I'd like to understand how that one unfolded.
Yes, I was told that he wanted to say it was psychic demonstration, and the local magician said it would put them out of work if he did this.
In other words, you can't call it real?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And so he now calls it the Magic Parlor because they threatened to take him to court because it would be like unfair competition. Now, can you believe that? Now, let me give you a more serious example of this. Have you heard of Dr. Fritz from Brazil, the quantum psychic surgeon?
I have. Yes, I have.
Okay. He treats 1,000 people a day with psychic surgery, and I know someone that was very skeptical, Masao Maki, who is a Japanese author.
Yeah.
Runs a sushi restaurant in Boulder, is also a very famous author in Japan. He went down to research this person. He calls himself a guru buster, that he is a skeptic, but he concluded this was real, and he's shown me some videos of Dr. Fritz. This is actually a computer programmer that begins to channel, apparently, a German doctor that was deceased, during World War.
I must tell you, Doctor, my eyes roll when you say channeling.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I always had a problem with it.
Well, whatever you want to call it, something takes over his awareness, and he becomes a German doctor, even though he doesn't speak German in real life, and he operates on people.
Well, that's certainly impressive. And
you can see the video.
He operates on people in what manner?
He operates on them with his hands, with all sorts of instruments, hammers and things. These people are awake.
Excuse me, hammers?
Hammers and screwdrivers and
screwdrivers.
Machine tools.
Machine tools.
It's on the video. I've seen the video of this. Now, here's the amazing thing.
Don't the medical authorities in Japan, we're not supposed to use screwdrivers and hammers?
Here's the thing. Let me just say briefly. People feel no pain. You can see the video of them smiling while he's working on them. They feel no pain.
While
they get
he's
up from
hammering away, right?
Hammering away on their spinal columns and things. They're awake, Art. No anesthesia. And it seems unbelievable, but, Maki wrote this book, Brazil's Quantum Surgeon.
Yes.
Basically, it comes down to subtle energy and the fact that we're all at some level energy, and energy is fluid.
Wait a minute, what's subtle about a hammer and a screwdriver?
Well, what Dr. Fritz says is he doesn't really need those, but some people need to see some sort of medical instruments or something to convince them that something is actually happening. He says he actually doesn't even really need to touch it.
Well, that would convince me. If I saw the doctor roll in this sterile tray with a whole bunch of, big old hammers, claw hammers and screwdrivers and stuff, I'm out of there. I'm way out of there.
You don't know whether to laugh or to shriek when you see this. I mean, it looks awfully scary, but the people walk away, and they seem to be better. Well, here's why I'm telling you this.
But how can he even do this without being a physician?
When he acts like Dr. Fritz, and Dr. Fritz has actually worked through many different people over the years.
Yeah.
This is the issue. A lot of, even in Brazil, they've said you don't have a medical license, you can't do this.
Yes.
In Japan, the government said you can come here if you don't actually do any of this sort of stuff with the machine tools and everything. If you just talk to people and project energy, we'll let you come here. But just before he was about to arrive, when I was there last September, just like the Magicians Union did with this psychokinetic individual, the doctors union said this is kind of like unfair competition and all this, and they denied his visa, even though he had agreed not to actually operate on people. But he does this in Brazil, treating hundreds of people a day, and it's pretty well documented. And when they've measured his brain waves, unsurprisingly, it's elevated to about 40,000 hertz. Which means
now this is getting into serious research, and I too have seen, 60 Minutes programs. I believe that, for example, documented all kinds of incredible things about yogis that could control things that are uncontrollable in their own bodies. A lot of that's been documented.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing, huh?
I think it's the same sort of thing. Again, it really challenges our belief systems about what is real. I mean, you may have some sort of a boggle point, as some people call it, to the idea of channeling, and I have my own boggle points to other types of ideas. We all do.
You're right. You're right about that.
No, we all do. It's part of being a human being, and I think it's healthy to be skeptical. At the same time, we know we live in a universe that is considerably more infinite than our minds can comprehend. And things, just imagine a couple hundred years ago, people burning witches at the stake for things that people now pay for training in remote viewing, and people would have been killed for that. Go back a couple hundred years before that to the Middle Ages, where we really thought we were the center of the universe, like planet Earth was it. And they threatened Galileo and Copernicus with talking, in fact, that this could be an ordinary star and we're just circling a star. So we know that ideas change, and it's just culture is very slow to, evolve.
Yes. Since people with these abilities tend to be quiet about it, then how many would you guess might be around, say, in the population of the U.S., that aren't making it public? People that, can move things with their minds, people that can perhaps affect the thinking of others, for example. That's another thing, incidentally, that remote viewers are really quiet about.
Yes. The people that worked originally with the remote viewing program were like natural psychics, like Ingo Swann and other people.
Yes.
And there's a certain percentage of the population that I really believe is naturally psychic. I'm not one of them, okay? I didn't think I could do any of this like most people probably believe. I don't know what the percentage is, but I would guess it's more than we're willing to admit. And if people weren't teased about this when they were smaller in school and were not ostracized, we might have more people that could really be helping us be more in the open about this.
Well, if you think people get upset at somebody else's ability to say, cause a glass to tip over on a table without touching it or bend spoons or whatever, if they really believe that person can do these things, they'll have one level of upsetness. If they think that somebody else can actually direct their thoughts, doctor, they get really upset.
Yeah. That's kind of scary to think about that. And it does seem that there are people that can do that also. I haven't encountered that directly, but I think that everyone, to some degree, has the ability to learn how to do this. And that was my big learning experience from remote viewing. I didn't think that everybody could do this, but if you've taken a course in this and seen demonstrations, everybody has this ability to some extent or another. And we're not taught about this in school. And as we talked about earlier, I think the elites that kind of direct our society don't want people doing this. But I think everyone has the ability. In fact, the demonstration I saw in Japan, believe it or not, the lecture that he gave people at the end, he said the whole point of this was to show people, just very similarly to what your guest was talking about last night, that we live in a quantum universe where our belief systems get this direct our reality. That was the whole point of the show. And this is what we're going towards, is that our belief systems are what create the structure we see around us. It looks very solid out there, the physical world we live in, but it's really being constructed by our awareness.
Okay, you did something really interesting. I had never thought about the experiment that you have apparently performed, and that is, I've heard many stories about the properties of crop circles and the experiences and the measurements people have made inside crop circles. So anomalous, all of this information. But I never thought, somebody could go out and create a crop circle, human work, and then see if the same kind of subtle energy abilities are present within that man-made circle. You did that, huh?
Right. That's exactly what we've been doing.
Fascinating.
I've done it with...
What were the results?
Well, I've been working with Ron Russell. He's been on your show in the past, and we've been working together since 1996. And we've had this idea once we realized people did make some of the crop circles that we were looking at. We didn't originally think that people could make any of them, but once we met circle makers, they told us, when we go out there at night to make these, really strange things happen. And no one, this is the untold story of the crop circles. It's not only later on do we see strange things, it's while you're making them we see strange things. So Ron and I thought, well, if we make some, would we see strange things? These circle makers told us, and I'm specifically referring to people like Matt Williams and others who've talked to us extensively,